I used to lie awake and let you occupy my mind. I used to put you first and always leave myself behind. And I'll admit you got real close, but I'll be sleeping fine tonight. Sorry, I don't mean to disappoint you. Didn't ruin my life. Never should've let you creep in. Every single word you said, gotta find a way to shake it. You don't wanna let me be. You wanna see me fall to pieces. Try to put a curse on me. You gotta find a way to break it. I used to lie awake and let you occupy my mind. I used to put you first and always leave myself behind. Fine tonight. Sorry, I don't mean to disappoint you. You didn't ruin my life. Some days I just can't win. You always had to point your finger, but words will never pierce my skin. I finally found a way to shake them. You can spill your hate on me. Now I know that I can take it. You're the one who's hurt clearly. You're the one who's really breaking. I used to lie awake and let you occupy my mind. I used to put you first and always leave myself behind. And I'll admit you got real close, but I'll be sleeping fine tonight. Sorry, I don't mean to disappoint you. You didn't ruin my life. I used to lie awake and let you occupy my mind. I used to put you first and always leave myself behind. And I'll admit you got real close, but I'll be sleeping fine tonight. Sorry, I don't mean to disappoint you. You didn't ruin my life. You didn't ruin my life. You didn't ruin my life.
I'm here right now with part of Simple Plan. Thank you so much for being on the show. We do appreciate it. You guys have a busy tour schedule, so I know how hard it is to carve out some time.
Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for having us. It's it's the second day of the tour, so it's exciting. We're back, and it's great to talk to you.
Yeah, so you're on tour right now with Sum 41, Blame Canada Tour. What are we blaming you for?
Obviously, we're both from Canada, so that's kind of the joke and the South Park reference. And I don't know, man. I think it's kind of like it goes with the whole shtick of our band and their band, that we're always a little bit like we don't take ourselves seriously, and like, oh well, it's because of Canada that you get two bands like us, and for some reason people never thought it would happen but 20 years ago, but we're still around. We're two bands that are almost from the same place. Like we grew up about 5-6 hours away from each other in the exact same era. We had very parallel careers, same scene, so many things that happened to them. We kind of share like that explosion of pop punk in the early 2000s. We were like two of the bands that were, I think, a big part of that. We had never toured together. Like literally, we had never done any tours. We'd done festivals here and there, but and there was even a bit of a little rivalry between the two bands. I'm not even sure why, but there was. We wanted to be friends. They were a little bit more like at the time. I think that was their persona, right? To kind of mess with every other band and everything. So we kind of got caught up in that. And then a few years ago, or probably 10 years ago, something, we met again and we're like, what is this all about, man? We should be friends, and we buried the hatchet, and And then we started mentioning like we should tour together, we should do something. It would be amazing. I think we have so many common fans, and I think people would go crazy. We've never done it, and they were like, "Okay, cool. We'll get back to you when we're ready." And it took like another 8-9 years,
Yeah.
10 years, and a worldwide pandemic. But now here we are, and we're finally doing it.
Nice. Now, one thing I didn't know until, we set this up, because I always have to, go through things, see if there's things I've missed about artists. I noticed you guys did the Scooby-Doo theme song.
Yes,
What?
we did.
What provoked that? Was it used for something or just wanted to?
No, they called us up and they asked us if we wanted to be the band that plays a Scooby-Doo theme, and you know what? We just thought it was the coolest thing. And at the time, in the early 2000s, it was a little bit like we had little concerns. Oh, like, because there was there was so much stigma around like the whole selling out thing, and like who's punker than the other guy, who's punk rock, who's not, who's too pop, and obviously that kind of fell into something that maybe a lot of cooler bands or whatever would have said like, oh, we're not touching that. But we were like, this is a classic. This is a franchise that's been around for years and years, and so many kids have loved this show, and it's like it's part of the cultural fabric of the US, and it's like it's cartoons. It's kind of like being on The Simpsons or whatever, and we just thought it was the coolest thing that we've got to be invited. And on top of that, we even got to be part of an episode where it's called a Simple Plan and the Invisible Madman. And we're literally like the whole plot of the show revolves around them trying to go to a show, and this, and we got to voice our characters, and were like they drew us up. Now I don't know what happened over the last 4 or 5 years, but for the longest time we didn't really talk about this, and nobody really knew. And then all of a sudden people rediscovered the song. I think it's because of probably Netflix. Like now the show's on Netflix, so like a whole new generation of people are able to like watch it, and now it's like a highlight of our show. We actually started playing it live 3-4 years ago, and at first we were like, I don't know how it's gonna go, and it's like it's like what they're waiting for is for us to play the Scooby-Doo theme song. And every time we put anything on TikTok that has to do with Scooby-Doo, it blows up to like 1 million views and more. And I realize now when I read the comments, like how many people have discovered the band thanks to that. Mm-hmm. And it's always been our approach. It's always been like wherever we can be, that people can hear our music and can get like be aware of who we are and that we exist, is a chance to make a new fan, and a chance for people to come back and like, oh my God, they have these albums and I'm a fan now.
Piggybacking off that, what do you think about now that the world has kind of gone to short form TikTok? People listen to 30-second clips of a song, coming from the era where records were big and people loved a whole, 12 songs, 13 songs, whatever. How do you feel as an artist that it's come down to such a short clip of what they can really do?
I think for me as a music lover, as a music fan, the album still remains like an important component of that. Like even just a full song, let's just go there. Like not even a full album, but a full song. There's like the way that we arrange music and we write music, like the song evolves, and the second verse is we always try to make it more interesting. We always try to keep your attention, and the bridge, like we spend a lot of time like building these really interesting, intricate bridges with new melodies and everything. And the outro, like that's really when the song really builds, and you got all these counter melodies and all that stuff happening, and the hooks come back. And for me, that's like the song is like a climax at the end, and it's like that's really, there's a science to it, and it's so fun to arrange a song. So when it gets reduced to like a 15-second clip, you lose some of that, right? And that's unfortunate. But at the same time, what it does is it really distills the essence of a song. And I think for us, I think we tend to do well in that format because we write very unforgettable sort of melodies and hooks. Our songs are kind of built for this moment in some ways, and there's always that moment like it can sum up the whole song in one line, or in a few lines. It's kind of cool to be able to thrive in that environment and have the ingredients to be able to play in that space. You can complain about what's happening and where things are going, but that's not going to serve you very well. And I think for us, the approach has always been to embrace whatever's happening, whatever is new, like we try to adapt to it, we try to lean into it as opposed to try to resist it. So it's crazy what it did for us. And we have over like 1 million followers on TikTok. We had never done TikTok before. We didn't feel it was a place for us, right? It didn't feel like it was all the choreography and like the stuff that we're like, yeah, I'm not sure how we enter that space. Now it's a huge part of what we do. Like we try to do TikToks every day, and I don't think you have to transform what you do, your art, to fit a certain platform.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I would, normally give people all of your handles, but I'm pretty sure they can find where you are on the internet.
At Simple Plan. There you go. It's easy.
Simple Plan, easy. But thank you so much. If you are watching this, definitely catch them at a show and stream their new music as well as their older stuff, because it is just as good, possibly better. And once again, I know I said it a bunch. Thank you. And hopefully we can do this again sometime.
It's my pleasure. Thanks.